Dear salesperson and entrepreneur, have you ever faced any of those rejection that I have mentioned on top? If you do, chances are you probably had some experience in sales. And here we go. Today, I've invited Thomas to come to our channel again to share with
Yeah.
us 5 biggest mistakes that kill your sales. Right. We are all salesperson. We want to convert every single sales that we have, right? I mean, that's how we make money. But if you don't
Yep.
avoid this mistake, chances are you won't convert them and you might kill all of them.
Worse
All
still, you
right.
keep doing the same mistakes again and again. Then you get stuck.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? A lot of people, they are not aware. They don't even know these are the mistakes that they're making. They just thought that, oh, maybe the client is just, it's bad lead, they're not qualified. But at the end of the day, probably you're the one who's making the mistake. So we just want to take this opportunity to remind everyone, like, okay, a lot of things in sales is uncontrollable, but we must control those that we can control, which is not making this mistake. All right. So, hi, Alvin. Like, for those of you who are watching this for the first time, I mean, if you see Thomas for the first time, comment, hi, Thomas. Hi, my boss is here again.
Your boss, Tony, write book.
Every single day.
Write book.
So, okay, for the benefit of the audience, like, Thomas, can you introduce yourself to everyone? Maybe they don't know you yet.
Hey guys, so hey Alvin. Alvin is my ex-colleague in Traders Hotel. Good to see you, man. And he's also involved in
Wow.
real estate. He's selling real estate in Kuching. We live in
Oh,
Kuching.
good thing. Nice.
When we first hired him, he was really enthusiastic, great attitude. We love working with him. So I'm so happy that he's in real estate. All right, hi Alvin.
That's amazing.
Hi Tony. Hi Jaden. Hi Richard. Okay, I'll go quickly. Where do I start? So I'm a part-time car journalist, but full-hearted enthusiast in car journalist with Horizon. I'm a content partner with Horizon. Check out my YouTube channel if you want to find out about cars, find out about my journey of owning cars and people I meet around cars. Right. The other thing is what I do is I have a network marketing business that I started in India. Since 2015, I launched in India. So right now we're doing roughly around 5.5 to 6 million US dollars of sales per month. So the sales team, around 1,200 plus active distributors and growing. And now I'm considering, I also have a car wash business, So we're growing that. We have 2 outlets. We're going to go up to 5 to 6 outlets this year. That's what I do. I'm an entrepreneur. But my hands are itchy again. I want to probably come back to train and provide value. That's what I love doing Facebook Live. So thank you, Adrian, for having me today. Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my channel again and again and again to give value, man. Seriously.
Fun, actually, I have a lot of fun doing it.
Like, I think a lot of them like your content. I have gotten feedback. Like, you guys love Thomas' content or not? If you love Thomas' content, show him some love, lah. Show him some love.
Love.
Right. So yes, without further ado, I mean, let's get into it, right? Thomas,
Sure.
like when you were doing sales last time, right? Have you ever faced like before we get into the 5 mistakes, lah? You see my comment and stuff, right? You see my description, right? Like, customer always say they want to think about it, right? This is not the right time. Call me back after. I need to check with my partner, my pet, my dog, my grandma. All this kind of stuff. Right. Okay. Can you, before we get into the mistake, can you just tell briefly how do you usually handle all this? Right.
Well, usually I try to fight. You see the wrong way. I think before I jump into the content, I think the biggest mistake you can do is that you're trying to fight the client. Never come across that. Oh, this is your objection. Let me smash your objection. Like that kind of attitude is not cool, because you must understand why people give objections. It's a psychological thing. People give objections to protect themselves. They give excuse to protect themselves. So they put a layer of protection and then you smash it. They feel more scared, right? So there's a reason why they're throwing excuse at you. There are many reasons, which today, if you use these 5 things I share with you, you will come across as you are working with them towards their goals. So understand, you can either you can either complain and say, I was going to use another word, but you either complain and say that your prospects are the wrong person. They are giving me excuse all the time. How many of you heard this before? Your team member or you sit down for a coffee shop or drinking Kuai Lo Cha, you're sitting down drinking beer with your friends and like, the day the prospect, they complain about the prospects.
Yes.
And all the excuse. But you must understand, people put excuse to protect themselves. If you can truly understand that at a heart level, Our job as salespeople is not to smash their objections. It's to understand, look, what are they afraid of? Why are they not committing? Means you haven't really applied what the 5 things that I really want to share with you today. Yeah, that's how I approach it. I don't see what they say. I want to understand why are they saying this.
I think that's actually very true. Like instead of just thinking, oh, here is the objection again, and this is the tactic that I learned somewhere that I'm gonna smash the objection. Right?
Yeah.
But instead, take some time to actually understand like why your client say that, and the actual reason that they are not making the decision. And when you find that reason, right, solve that and make sure that they feel that you care, and you don't just care about your commission, but you actually care about their need.
Yeah. And I can say that I learned so much about tactics and strategies and skills, but end of the day, it's like somebody who has a weapon on their hand. If they have a good heart, you feel protected around them, right? They have a gun and they're taking care of you. But if you see this person, he has a gun and then he has a very bad intention, of course you feel scared around the person, right? So it's always the way you approach sales that I think is very important. Yeah.
Right. Okay then. So let's get right into it. Before we do that, for those of you who are watching this right now, if you think that today's session would help any of your friend, just share this live video on your wall, onto your group, so that everyone can learn together. So I'm sure because you're in sales line, a lot of you very probably are in sales line as well, right? So you want them to grow together, so share this so that everyone grows together. All right.
Yeah.
So Thomas, let's get right into it. Tell everyone like the first mistake that a lot
and feel
of
free to jump in also if I'm sharing. If I'm sharing this and you feel that you have something you jump in also, okay?
Sure. Whenever I see like I have some opinion, I will just cut it.
All right.
Allow me to do that. Interrupt by Adrian Xiao.
It's okay. I totally accept it, right? Because you are also equally or probably as good sales or better sales, but everyone got different ways of doing sales. You're selling things that are $500,000 and above. My product is what 1,400 US, 1,400, 14,000 ringgit, 4,000 US dollars. Comparably, we have different experience lah. And always, I love talking to people because I was talking to people who sell cars as well. I'm like, how do they sell Aston Martins, man? How do they sell Ferraris? Wow. They sell Lamborghinis, right? Everybody has different things, so I'm always learning. So feel free to jump in, yeah.
All right, sure.
So number one is being smarter than your prospects is a big mistake.
Wow. Being smarter. Okay.
So there's a dynamic that's very interesting. I want to jump inside here. Sometimes we go out and we think that we have to be well educated so we can educate our prospects. But sometimes, yes, it's the right thing to do. But how are you educating them? If you're always trying to show your prospects you're smarter than them, okay, let me ask you something. If you're hanging out with me and I'm always trying to make you feel stupid, all right, how often do you want to spend time with me? Will you feel safe to tell me? You say, oh, this place is got this feature. No lah, all the properties here don't have this feature one. It's like you make me feel dumb, right? But maybe say does this place have a swimming pool or not? Then you can say that, oh, is that something you're looking for? Or is that something important for you? Versus saying that, oh, oh, I really don't have one. You get what I mean? It's a very simple thing, but the more we stack up again and again, it builds the impression that we are smart. We're trying to make them feel like they are not smart enough, right? And we don't want that. And in fact, a very simple shift, okay, but before we go into the shift, is that if they don't feel smart around you, they don't feel confident around you, they'll make the decision, right? Sometimes people say no to you because the mind feels or the heart feels something is off. Okay, they're not confident. So the safer route is to say no. Okay, they're trying to protect themselves, right? So sometimes it could be when you're doing this with them, all right, you're making it unsafe for them. Okay, so being smarter than a prospect is not. I say that it's like it sounds counterintuitive, but it's not actually. Okay, you do have more knowledge than your prospects. Okay, that's what we are expected to do. But the way you approach it is a simple shift, which I'll give it to you. Servant leader or thought leader. Are you a thought leader? Means that, oh, I know all of this. I'm a thought leader. I'm very king. I'm very good. Wow, yes, okay, no sale for you lah. But servant leader is you're helping the person make a decision. You're structuring the presentation, you're structuring the walkthrough, you're structuring the sales process so that they can make a decision. You are serving the person. And that is the first shift, more important than any skill. Because you can handle an objection from a thought leader. I'm very smart. Let me tell you what you need to look for. Or you can be from a thought leader, a servant leader. Let me help you make a decision. If what are important for you. Someone asks you a question. Does this property has this? The property has that. You can go around and say, hey, what do you need? What do you really need? Let me help you fulfill your criteria. If it's, and you tell them, imagine how it is. You tell them, if this today's property doesn't suit you, don't worry. We'll find you the right property, right? Imagine how much they feel much lighter. Wow, this guy taking care of me. So, it's presenting your data, presenting the facts in a way that it supports your prospects, rather than making them feel like, oh, they don't know this, they don't know that, right?
A lot of salesperson, like adding to what you said just now, a lot of salesperson tend to do this. They want to be like, I know more than you, so you should listen to me. It's like they want to use the kind of I'm better than you, I know, so to generate the kind of pressure so that the client will actually buy in the end. Some people do that when I actually experienced that before. Like when I was in a roadshow. I mean, it wasn't about property. It was about selling some kind of like ironing thing. I mean, I was young.
Yeah.
Like 22, 23 years old at the time, right? So when I was at the roadshow, I was just looking. I actually wanted to buy something, right? So it's like they make me feel like, oh, okay, like it's not like they're educating me. They're just showing off like what they know, and it's like, huh, you don't know that one, the kind of feeling, yeah, like, you don't know, like it's like this one, like, okay, but I was so young the time, I didn't know how to like really fight back, whatever. I ended up buying that thing. Like, I don't think I was happy lah. After that, I immediately there was some kind of regret in my heart, but nothing much I can do because already done deal, right? Some people tend to do that, and I would say that it works, right? It works on certain kind of people, but would it work long term? That is the thing that I want to ask you.
Would you refer someone to that who makes you feel dumb? Of course, no, right? So there's no repeat skills. Why are you going through the path of more resistance? If you want sales to be easy for you, you want people to refer to you, and referrals usually is easier to close. Those of you who do sales, how many of you feel referrals are easier to close? Type R on the chat. Type R. Okay? If referrals are easier to close, because you're borrowing the person who, let's say, if I buy a property from Adrian, if I told my friends to buy from Adrian, there is it's not only just warm, it's that there's a borrowed trust, so why would you get one sale and then get nothing else, to start all over again, versus you have a good customer and then you ask for referrals, so thought leadership is very important. Thanks, Erica. Thanks, Magdalene. Good to see you again, Erica. Right. So it does work, you're right, but does it give you your enjoyment in business, right? Because you get something back too, okay? Enjoyment, okay, fulfillment, but also you also get a long-term referral business. So definitely be a thought leader, okay? No, be a servant leader. Try to be a servant leader,
yeah. Yes.
All right. Okay, so that's the process. You present your ideas. Your heart is always thinking, how can I help this person make a decision today? And I can tell you, I got properties that other people ask me, hey, I want to rent out for you. I got all the keys in this area, so I can rent out better. But because of a person that takes care of me, I would say, you want to rent this property because mine is really fully furnished, and like just roll your luggage in, right? I say that you want to rent this, you talk to this agent, you co-broke with him. You must co-broke with him. Only let him hold the key because he take care of me. He will do Zoom calls with me, explain to me, hey, now it's the economy like this. What's the max rental? What's the lowest rental? And I say, the only way you can deal with this place, you go and co-broke with this guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how can I get your trust, because he really serve you like really well?
Correct. Because I don't want the headache. I don't want the headache to run around and then they use my picture for another listing. It's yes. Okay. This is the economy, right? Yeah.
So to answer the question, like, okay, mistake. How would you avoid this mistake?
How would I avoid this mistake? Is number one, your heart should feel like you are a servant leader. All right. And rather than dumping information to them, you want to layer the information and layer the presentation in the way that is making them feel like they're making the right decision, or making them, tick off the boxes. You see, buying process, people have a lot of things in their mind they have to consider. loan location and people are afraid to make the wrong choice. You get what I mean? People are
Yes.
always afraid to make the wrong choice. That's the thing that stops people from buying. Okay, if you are a servant leader, you help people identify and help them absolve these issues. Okay, not from a space that I want you to buy my property, but you help them clear up these things so they can make a decision.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to
Yes.
give you the reward. The reward is this. Okay, if you don't help them clear those things, okay, no matter if it's the right product for the right person, but they will still be clouded by the fear of making the wrong mistakes. Right. So I would say if I'm doing property sales, for example, like getting them to share with you, like maybe like what's their plan with the property, what's their how much disposable income they're willing to spend, so on and so forth. Like get through all those things, and what if there's another property in the area they're looking for? Like help them talk about this, right? So that when you present your property, they are looking it without that, like they've been taken care of lah. So take care of their fears. Idea is that you help them alleviate their fears, help them take care of their fears. Yeah.
So
I will do that.
Yeah, don't try to be like smarter than them, but in fact, let them. You know the answer, but you gotta ask the right question to let them answer it themselves. Let them feel that they actually find out the answer themselves, and that's the hardest idea to take away because they found the idea themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that will be a better way. Okay, so guys, if you enjoy the session so far, comment yes in the comment section and let us know, right? Because we have 4 more mistakes to go on. So let's move on to the next one. Right. So what will be the next one, Thomas?
Second one is not pre-framing. You're not framing the presentation. You're not spending time to pre-frame. You see, what a lot of people tend to do is that they just dump information to you. Look at this property now. We got this, how many, we got this SPA discount, whatever. Like you're dumping the information with them, right? So you're not creating, how do I say this? The best way to explain framing, and this is something I learned from an extremely wealthy insurance agent, but he was really like retired really lah. He lives in a penthouse and he got drivers and stuff like that. Okay. So he taught me this idea of pre-framing because when I was starting to do my first network marketing business, direct selling, right? And I come up and I take out my bag and I start doing the presentation, like test this water, test that water, and then he's like, hold on a minute. He said like, okay, I can sit here and watch a presentation. Okay, I may or may not buy. Okay, or I can spend the next half an hour to give you a golden nugget. Then you can decide what you want to do with it. Right. So I think they're like, but I want to get the sale. I say, this guy is a seasoned insurance agent, right? It used to be AI, now no more AIG, now it's AIA, right? So it used to be like a top leader, in Singapore. So I said, okay, teach me. So he said, let me sell you your product, right? So he turned around though, and then he said this. It's like, Thomas, I want you to imagine this. Okay, what if today I told you there is a pill that is invented, right? And then this pill is really exclusive, only limited to certain amounts of people, all right? So first you must be selected. Today, you're looking at a possibility of owning this pill and using this pill, okay? The second thing is that this pill, if you consume this pill, there is backed with 10 or 15 years of research, certificates, and even money-back guarantee. Means that if you take this pill for the next 10 years, okay, you will not fall sick, you will not have any major illness, okay? Of course, other than death, right? Accident, Then you say, okay, sounds good, right? Sounds good so far. Okay, great. What if I told you this pill costs you at least 1 million ringgit because we have to do DNA testing, take you through the whole process. After 6 months, the pill is created for you only. Okay, it costs you $1 million US. Okay, would you be interested to take a look? Right? Then you're like, you know that you got the money, right? But Adrian, you're already thinking about some people in your family that you like them to have, right? So what am I saying this? You see, when you look at something in perspective of health, right, we always look for the people that we care for, correct? Right? Now, unfortunately, the bad news is this thing is not real. There's no such thing of this pill, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be looking at, having this conversation with you today. But what if I told you there is a way to dramatically reduce the risk of all this?
Wow.
The cost only is a fraction of the cost, $10,000 US. Not for you, but for you and your family, everyone around you. one product, $10,000 and that's it the rest of your life. Would you be open to listen? Answer is
there
like,
we go. And
I'm
that is
like,
free
yes.
for me.
So my product is $4,000 ma. So you print at 10,000. So when they go and watch, then the price become 4,000. Then be like, wow, so cheap leh, right? So you see, price is never the issue. It's always what the
Value.
value, right? So he pre-framed me. So suddenly in my mind, I'm like, hey, $4,000 is not that expensive, leh, because they asked me to think of my parents, think of the people that I love and I care for. And suddenly in that perspective, what is 10,000? You'll find a way. Back borrow still, people get cancer, you just, touch wood, right? Someone gets like an illness, you back borrow still, you take money and save them, right? So he was changing the context. Basically pre-framing is about changing the context of the conversation. A lot of salespeople try to handle objection by going after the content. Okay, content will never go anywhere. Okay, will never go. So you handle one objection. Okay, I don't think I can afford to handle this. Bish. Then another one. Bish. It's like you always like playing that game. The whack-a-mole.
Yeah. You hit that comes out again.
Yeah, I know I'm going on and on about it, but I hope you catch this, right? If you want,
I'm actually enjoying this. I'm learning myself too.
And you want to take your customers and help them change their perspective. Perspective is everything. Basically, context is like perspective. If they change their perspective, there's a different weightage of importance or not importance, right? Right? If I'm looking at this machine, okay, as $4,000, of course it's bloody expensive, right? But if I change the perspective, I want you to compare this machine to a health cost, and then like, oh yeah, that's not very expensive, right? So suddenly it's like everything changes, right? So the point is that if someone is you have to zoom out. That's what you're talking. That's what the context is. And the best way to describe is this, okay? Some of you may be in you're in the hotel line or in culinary arts, or you like drinking wine like me, okay? Like drinking wine. In France, right? Only the wines produced in certain regions can carry the name of certain things like champagne. Okay, so if someone tells you that I got Australian champagne, you tell it's BS lah. Basically, it's sparkling wine. Okay, only the bottles coming out from the Champagne region is called champagne.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And there is a glass. There's also another red wine called Burgundy and called Bordeaux. Right? So how many of you know this? You can type on the chat Bordeaux or Burgundy, or type B if you know what I'm talking about. Did you know that in the restaurant, you can only serve Bordeaux in a Bordeaux glass? You can serve Burgundy in a Burgundy glass. All right. So if you're in my restaurant, I walk up to you and say, "Oh, Adrian, hey, Mr. Adrian, you put down the glass before you serve the wine. Oh, Mr. Adrian, today we have a beautiful Burgundy wine. This wine only comes from this region, and this glass is specifically so you can take in more of the taste." Now, Adrian's in front of like his wife, and then you're showing the wine like this one usually is around 200 ringgit. Today we got offered 150 ringgit, which like they have one of this. You're like, wow, wait, got special glass somehow, crystals to help you absorb more, because Burgundy wine has more flavor, so the wine has to be bigger, so you can smell. Ma'am, you like to, and you're like, oh yeah, this is very king, right? But how if I pour that bottle of wine, I pour for you like Australian wine, you won't even know. You were like, wow, today I drink Burgundy, man. Wow. Right? Okay. So the point what I'm trying to say is that the wine glass is like the context, right? The wine glass is the context. If you look at anything in the world that sells well, it's always contextual play. It's never content play. People who are 98% salespeople, 98% business owners always try to attack content. That's why they always lose, right? People who are successful, look at Nike. They're selling context. They're selling a perspective. Look at Under Armour. Look at all these big brands, Louis Vuitton. Why can they sell? Why Prada can sell to you this little wallet for 2,000 ringgit, right? Because it's context. This company know how to play context, right? So pre-framing is about contextual. Okay, so so I hope this gives you an idea when you are going into your sales process. What are you pre-framing your customers with? And it's lazy not to think how to pre-frame, right? And those of you who do copywriting for your web page, for example, it's all about pre-framing. If you just dump information, it will not work, right? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, I talk a lot. I'm going to, but this is something very exciting for me because if you really catch this, it changes the game. It basically, if you do it well, hasta la vista objections. Yeah.
Which is right. Like earlier on, that when you talk about the way your friend actually resell you your own product, right? He basically just shift the entire thing into telling you a story, in a way. Like he's letting you know that, okay, health is important. If you can not get sick for 10 years but you need to pay like 1 million ringgit for that, would you want that? You probably would. But today, okay, you can have the similar thing but not paying that much. See, suddenly, right, you feel that compared to $1 million, 10,000 is like cheap, in a way. So a lot of us actually, whenever I tell my agent to do any presentation, right, usually in the sales gallery, don't straight away go for the cheapest or the middle class item. In fact, let them see something that they can possibly have, right? For example, like if there's a different sizes property, right, go for the biggest one first. Because like you said, this is something that you can have, like staying in this area with this kind of view, this kind of whatever, the best thing and stuff. But if they really can't afford that, you step down a little bit, say, okay, why not we do this? Instead of going for the best, maybe we go for this, but maybe slightly like not that good view, and stuff like this, but you still own a property here.
Yeah.
So one way to pre-frame yourself in property aspect.
One way you can do it is this, like Adrian,
Yeah.
can you imagine this? Like, okay, I want you to see it in the property market. Right? And you notice how my friend does it, right? He's not telling me that my property or my product is good for health. He's not telling me. He's asking questions. He's painting a picture so that
Right.
I can make my decision that, oh, health is important. You see, the smart way of negotiation is this, is that instead of telling you, I'm not smarter than you. You see, I'm also human. You're also human. We both concerned about health. Let me show you why is it so important, because it's your family. Then you paint the picture, let them fill in the gaps. You get what I mean, right?
Yes.
That's what a thought leader does. That's why I'm not smarter than you. I'm just helping you see a different picture. That's all
right.
it is. All right? Yeah. Of Eric, because he's baller here. He's really baller. End of the day, he didn't buy my machine. But I walk away with a skill that made me millions. So I do have a lot to owe to him. Yeah.
I hope that all of you has been getting this so far. If by the way, if whatever things that you have like come across your mind while listening to us, put it in the comment section, because I always believe in active learning. Because then you learn and then you listen, and then some idea comes up, you either write it down and put it in the comment section. It will help you learn better.
I even can do a simple thing, a pre-framing. If you see the person is a car lover, for example, right? Come to your showroom looking at property, and you say, Adrian, have you heard of this car called the Honda Integra or the Civic, the old Civics? No, right? Let's say Adrian is a car person. Let's say he is, right? Those of you know Civics, you know what I'm talking about, right? Do you know that the Integra in 2006-year-old car or 1996-year-old car can still be sold at 60,000? Did you know that that car is still the same price as it was off? Do you know an old Honda Civic EG 1992 or 3 can be sold at latest record 120,000 ringgit? Why would people pay so much for that car? Right? Because willing buyer, willing seller. Simple, right? Because it is a legend. People want the car, they buy the car. But then you have other cars like the Kia, the Hyundai Elantra, 1990, 2002, that first model come out. Today you can buy 3,000 ringgit for scraps, right? Nobody wants that car. So Adrian, like this, when you won't look at this property later on, you must understand that when it comes to reselling a property, when you move away, willing buyer, willing seller, when you got a good view, right? This view is the only place in Penang for this view. Okay? So willing buyer, willing seller, if you're the few 5 to 20 properties that have this view, you got bargaining power. You can ask for higher price when you let the property go. See, you are doing a pre-framing, you are contextualizing. So Adrian, when you look at this property price, although they is slightly higher, don't look at this as a cost, look at it as a investment. Because some other properties don't have this view, then you are selling essentially a Hyundai Elantra, then people just look at it at the bare metal value of the car. But you got a nice scenery, you're unique, then you have something to your bargaining power is there, So
this
don't
is
look at it
like pre-framing that like to buy something with like that's unique with a special view so that you can resell better, something like this, right?
Yeah.
Let
So
them
when
know
they
that.
look at it like, maybe installment increased 150 ringgit, but maybe I can resell for 30,000, but I can enjoy the place for next 10 years. Or so now 150 ringgit not so expensive already, right? So you get what I mean, right? You're pre-framing it. Okay, I hope that that I'm just trying. I'm not a property agent, but you get what I mean, right? You use different pictures, zoom out and look at car, for example, look at handbags, for example, or something. Then you zoom back into the property. You know, yeah,
Yep, get that now. Get that
yeah.
now. Amazing. I'm sure they actually like for those who are watching, right? You like this, right? Okay. So there's a question Fadila asked: pre-framing the product or the prospect?
You're pre-framing the product. You're pre-framing the product by changing the prospect's perspective. Okay, so you always want to use something else to as like a metaphor parallel to your pre-framing. Okay, think of the best storytellers, best teachers in the world, best gurus, or even you want to go, okay, my obsession with this, I will go a bit further, is the most profitable, no, the most sustainable and the most successful business in the world is, okay, I know it's controversial, is religion, right? Okay, religion is a great way of selling, right? And they use stories, fables, they use metaphors so people can understand. Zoom out to the metaphor, use this metaphor to look at this current issue now. Oh, okay. So it's always you're pre-framing the product by changing the prospect's perspective. Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
All right. Learning something so far. If you learn something so far, be sure to share this with your friend, so we all can learn together. Okay. And that then brings us to the third one. Let's
The
do it.
one is not building rapport.
Building rapport.
Making, you see, when you're welcome, Fadila. So when you go into objection handling, or it's too late already. Sometimes you go and build rapport, but it's too late already. Building rapport starts from the moment you start writing your ads, you start messaging them or start DMing them. You start building rapport from them already. Okay.
Yes.
So you want people to feel that you are on their corner. Okay. Hence, starting off with thought leadership versus servant leadership. Okay. If you're servant leadership, you are on their corner. Now,
Yep.
servant leadership doesn't mean you're begging for people's money. That's not what I mean. Do you know that servant leadership is okay? This is a long story. I don't want to go there, right? But it is actually the most powerful thing. All right, we are serving people, but let's come back to that another time. It's also a form of leadership. But
Yes.
not
We're
building rapport.
in the next live video.
Yeah, talk about next live video, yeah. But not building rapport is a big thing. It's a big thing because again, we always think that we are salesperson. I'm real estate negotiator. Okay, I am selling property. But did we forget something that is fundamentally more important? You cut my skin. I'm Chinese. I'm Indian. I'm Malay. Our blood is red color. We're all human beings.
Yes.
Okay, so we want people to be able to relate to you as a human being, and building rapport is that sort of way. Right? I'm not asking you to run around them and just simply throw compliments. There are all these tactics to do it. But what I'm trying to say is that can you find something that you and the person can genuinely connect with?
Yeah.
Can you actually find something that they can For example, if you put me in front of a car lover, we can talk for hours, right? So if I find a prospect that like cars, gosh, I'll tell you, I don't care they buy or not buy for me. I want them to be my friend because we want to talk about cars. Right? I will ask my prospect, hey, come sit in my car, let's go, and then I say sit in the car, right? That kind of simple things, but essentially if you cannot do the driving and stuff, but talk about things. You have a lot of small talk on the way up on the elevator, they're walking in your showroom, little things that they do. Do they wear a nicer bag or something? Can you talk about, maybe if you like bags, talk about bags. Basically, you want the idea is this: we psychologically we are built to connect. Studies have shown that our brain, the physical brain, not the mind, the physical brain is built to connect with people. We are social animals. We must be social. So we crave connection. It is what we need in order to survive. And do you know that the most painful punishment for prisoners is isolation? So that's why they don't like to be isolated. Okay, they can be whipped, they can be beaten up, but they are afraid of solitary isolation. 48 hours, 3 days, not talking to anyone, locked in a small room, one small little light. They can go crazy one. They're afraid of that. So the worst criminals in the world are afraid of that. But what does it tell us? It means that isolation is very, very painful. Okay. On the flip side, connection is it releases a lot of hormones. Oxytocin, love hormones, right? Wow, you understand me. Wow, love hormones come out, oxytocin. Hey, it's true, it's powerful. This is extremely powerful. Okay. So building rapport is as simple as finding where you and the person have a commonality.
Yeah,
right?
like finding a common ground, common topic to talk about. And
Yeah.
a lot of people they fail to understand the rapport thing is that they thought they start building rapport when they are on the closing table, closing the client.
Too late,
You know,
already.
no, actually, like what Thomas said, actually, the moment you start writing your advertisement, when you get the lead, when you start chatting with them, right, that is the time where actually you need to start looking for common ground already. After you ask those whatever like question, right, you need to start like talking about certain things that you might find commonality. Right? For example, like how many property they have bought, can you relate to your own experience? What kind of experience, like what kind of problem they might be facing? Have you solved that kind of problem before? I think that is the way that people get connected, right? Like what Thomas said. Instead of waiting until all the way to the end, where it's a bit too late to do that.
Yeah. And you can build rapport with two different kind of. Okay, some people they open up very quickly. Okay, I'm going to give you a little extra tip.
Yeah. The next
Some people,
question.
they are open one. Wow, talk. Very nice, huh?
Some people like they are very cold one, like whatever you
Very
talk to them.
guarded. Okay.
Yes, no,
So there's two ways to do with this. People open and open and they're open. For example, it's quite easy to build rapport. Ask them what I'll say. Hey, I notice you drive this. Oh, how long you drive this car? Actually, this is my dream car. I really want to drive this car. Wow, like then they start talking. This is one way to do it, right? But if you meet a person who happen to be cold, right? You must understand cold people. They feel unsafe. Okay, so one way you can have more rapport with colder people is to share a story. Okay, so you should have your signature story, for example. I know it sounds really weird, like Thomas, I'm selling property. Why don't you do story, for example? But let me tell you, stories have very powerful way of changing people. Okay, better your own story than others. Okay. So maybe you're in an elevator and 60 minutes can change 60 seconds change everything. Okay. For example, I'll give you one story. Okay. Let's say I'm doing my recruitment. I'm recruiting someone to join my business. Okay. So I'll start with this. Like it was 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm in my Honda City and I'm crying. Okay. I didn't want to go to work. All I really want to do is to sleep because for the last 8 days, I'm working 14 to 18 hours. Okay. I cannot get my holidays because there's lack of manpower. I was one of the few duty managers that have to work. I just want to sleep. I just want to quit. So I was screaming and crying in the car. But I can't quit because I need to, every end of the month, I got enough bills just enough to pay my bills. And I got no left change, right? That's all. I'm burnt out. I'm really burnt out, but I cannot quit my job, So that's where I am at 2013, okay? So in 2014, my uncle Sam, my friend, came around and showed me this opportunity. And I said, I'm not interested with doing business and stuff. But I remember that day when I was in my car, I told myself, I need to find a better way. So I asked myself, am I open? I let myself be open. I went into the office. I started going for a few seminars and I see that actually, you know what? I should take the dive. Today, I can work as much as I want. 2 hours, 70 hours, no hours a week, I choose. And most importantly, I not only have a comfortable life, but at the end of every month, I have money to pay everything and some to spare for my family and some to donate as well and to enjoy my life a little bit better. And the question I want to ask before I show you anything is that, are you open to such? You know what I mean, right? There is a relationship I'm starting to build. I know I've got a bit longer, but it actually is much shorter. But this is my quick signature story. See, before, after, that's it. Before this, after this. Maybe you can say like real estate, before this, when I look at real estate, I was afraid of it's so big of a deal. But actually, after doing this for a while, I realized that actually buying process is very easy. Anyone can do it. But I get the joy as a real estate to help someone make the right decision, because I know how people feel because I am also a buyer. So when I'm so afraid to commit, I got I only got enough quota to buy 2 property. That means 2 shots I'm gone already, you know. So I'm actually really afraid to collect. I'm really afraid for some real estate agent to take my money and then they get the commission. Now I'm stuck with this property for 30 years. You see, you can build that sort of. I'm going a lot of directions, but you get the idea, right? Call people when you're walking up, walking up to the property, greet them in the car, walk them from the car over, text them something, like do all of this before you even start the presentation. So rapport is as simple to say we have a common ground. And when they feel like,
at the same time,
then suddenly the love hormone come out already.
Yeah, it's a very quick introduction of yourself as well. Like very quickly, you let them know that you are just like them, like you say, I feel, I felt, and then after that, this is why I'm doing this. So that initially, it's somehow like pre-framing in a way as well. Like let them feel that you are actually here to help them instead of like most other property agent who is just here to make that commission.
Correct. So you change the context, right? So what you want them to feel is that, hey, actually, I'm just like you. At the end of a storytelling, at the end of a signature story, which is 30 seconds, 60 seconds, doesn't matter. They must feel like, hey, I'm just like you. And that's what we call rapport. See, thought leaders don't want to feel like I'm like you, I'm better than you. Servant leader is, I'm just like you only. So even though I have earned so much money, I am actually just like you. I'm afraid just like you. I have my same fears. That's why I'm doing this, for example. So it changes everything. It changes the game. So again, if you don't know what rapport is, it's a big word, fancy word. You want the feeling, I understand, you understand me, and I'm just like you, whichever. When that happens, your body secretes, your mind secretes oxytocin, love hormones at a very small level. Okay, I'm not asking you to get your clients to fall in love with you, okay? I don't know how many agents actually fall in love with their clients or the other way before. But the point is a very powerful thing. Okay. When that comes out, okay, when that opportunity comes out and change that relationship, when they have a concern, they will tell you. Right? If they have, when now you're asking like, oh, what's the objection, right? For example, when you don't have that relationship, it's like they feel like you want to smash the objection. But now that you are like this, they are open to tell you, right?
Yeah.
They're open to tell you. So building rapport, take time to do it. Take time to do it. Somebody say, Thomas, very lost and this and that. I say, no, take time to do it. Yeah.
Yes. Like for those of you who are watching this, like I don't know about you, even myself, I've been in sales for so long, I am still learning a lot from Thomas. Hey, by the way, I just do a very quick sharing. I actually went to Thomas' class last time, Like he was actually one of my my speech coach. Okay. And that story, like whatever he shared just now, is the exact way that he taught me how to talk, how to tell a story. Like, a hero's journey and stuff like this. And when I still remember one time when I asked him, can I tell a story that's not mine? Like someone else's story. He said, why don't you tell your own story? Like, isn't it better? A lot of us, we are kind of person now that we don't like to open up and tell people our like deepest fear or the real self. We don't want to show that. But like Thomas said, if you are willing to open up first, the other person will open up as well. So that's like my biggest takeaway. Like when I attended his class, I said, sure, actually, yes, I should talk more about my story. Like whatever that he shared just now, like the 1 minute story, like even the first few words got me just longing for the next word that he's gonna say. Like what is the next part of the story, right? So yeah, by the way, if you really want to learn that part, right? Actually, me and him, we did a live video last year. Okay, I can't recall where is that live video already, but it's about being an impactful speaker.
Yeah.
So you want to watch that live video, you can go back to my page later and find. Or I'll send you a link later. Yeah. Okay. I think I learned quite a lot. Like it's a 3 days. Was it 3 days training?
Oh, it was 3 days, and I can tell you that you have so many people come into the class. You are, in my experience, not just because that's I do for my old company when I was having that company. I also did it for some of my Indian distributors in India. You are one of the most memorable people that came into the room because your transformation was mind blowing. I don't know if you remember. I was left in tears listening to your story and the way you spoke. No kidding, guys. Like the way he transformed. He didn't transform. He just unleashed, like he just gave himself permission to open up. And even though maybe I'm not in the room, maybe if I'm downstairs, I can still feel that kind of the energy that comes across. So it was really a pleasure to really watch you transform. And that's what I love about training, is to see my participants they open up and become better. That for me is the ultimate payoff. Training is not all, training is not good money, right? But
Yes.
unless you're Tony Robbins or something, right? But there's satisfaction you get, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But you can't fake it, like Johansson saying, you cannot fake your stories. You have
Exactly,
to.
if other people's
you,
story, we
Yeah.
can't really read it that well.
yeah. You have to make it real. And if you other people's stories, you may have a chance, but it usually the best stories. And again, you don't have to say, oh, why my story is not so dramatic. There's always a way. Sometimes the most powerful story is your story. It's not the most dramatic story.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And the way you tell it as well. How you
I will urge every one of you who are, let's say, in property, for example, I would definitely ask you to have a quick story, like within 30 seconds, 40 seconds, before the pivot and why. Before, after. This is what I experienced after. Therefore, I choose to be a real estate agent. That's why after I met this person who is taking me through the sales process, I said, hey, I want to be someone like this guy. Like that is your process, right? Take them through the process, before, after. So this is how you create rapport. You create rapport to then know, oh, I'm just like you. Eyes will glow if real. Wow, actually it's true lah. There is a moment of the oxytocin come out, the love hormone. Ding. Wow, your handsome know me. Wow, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Right. Okay, let's talk about the fourth one.
Yeah, fourth one is
Okay, I love this. Okay, before we move on and talk about this, like any one of you who actually made this mistake before, keep talking and keep talking and never let your customer talk. Comment 4. Like comment 4 if you made this mistake before. Like
I'm gonna comment also. Comment.
But let me just talk about this first. Like back then, I always talk about, I heard about this. Like if you want to be a very good salesperson, you really gotta speak eloquent. You gotta, know how to talk and then know how to sell the property and stuff like this, right? You gotta keep talking and keep talking, right? By the end of the day, right, after trying out that way, I realized that actually we don't need to talk so much. Right? In fact, learning how to listen is much more important, right? But too many people just they always have a mindset like, I gotta finish all my benefit, all my selling point. I need to let all these people see all these points, all the detail that I prepare for them, all the slide. I need to keep talking. But in fact, right, your customer can't consume everything, right? So, which is why I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of salesperson make.
Yeah. And it spawns from the idea of thought leadership. I know all this, I must tell you all of this, right? That is, again, that mentality that I feel, that's why I put it in the very beginning, is what I feel at the heart level destroys most of the sales. When you are a thought leader, okay, you're trying to be an expert, okay? But when you see, it's not about the talk. Talking is just a way to, if you're talking, if people talk for the sake of talking, that's the problem, okay? You talk to create something. You're very thoughtful about your words and your questions that you're asking, right? You're thinking about how can I help them see that this is the property for them, for example. And again, forget about talking. How can you create a relationship in such a way that when you walk around the house, right, you imagine this, you are so good rapport with your customer, and me and another guy, we are bro lah, right? And then he's standing at the balcony looking out, keeping quiet there, enjoying the view. And you go up to him and you put the hands on his back and say, bro, nice view, right? Can you imagine this is the place that you're going to spend at least next 5 to 10 years? Can you imagine you build that kind of relationship that you can put your hands on his back and you can say these kind of things? That is more powerful than talking. Oh, we have the KLCC view. Can you imagine that you have permission to tell him that this is a nice view? Can you imagine that and then he's like smiling there and stuff. That situation is far more powerful than you telling him how great this view is. Right?
Yeah, let them just feel it themselves, right?
Yeah. You
And
know,
then
so
another thing is this, all of us, some people actually made the mistake that they know, okay, some guru or teacher, sales guru tell them that, okay, you don't talk so much, you gotta ask question and let your customer talk, right? Okay, some people really hate it, and then they do it. But here's the thing, they listen to reply. A lot of people actually do this one. They ask question already, right? Then when the customer answering, they want to reply.
oh, I catch you.
Then he talk again. Like they wanted to ask question and wait for the prospect, the client to talk. But then when after the client actually talk, right, they never really listen. They just keep talking whatever they want to talk. But the action they do is just because they learn it from somewhere. Oh, you gotta ask question first, then you talk again. So here's the thing: instead of listen to reply, like why not listen to understand? Right? Listen to like initially when we talk about when we start out this conversation, right? When your customer give you all the objections, right? Actually ask question why, right? Find out why they need to discuss with their partner, discuss with their whoever, right? Find out the reason why this is not the right timing. They need to wait until 2 months or 3 months later, and you understand. Then only you help them solve that problem instead of ask question already. Then actually, I think this is the right timing lah. There's no better timing already. Now is the best time. You can throw out all your points, all your facts, statistics, data, but they're not buying it because you're not standing at their corner like Thomas said. You're not at their corner. You're at the opposite side, trying to close them instead of sitting by their side, trying to help them to buy. So actually, one more very important is actually listen to understand, but not listen to reply.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's actually one of the thing that people need to take note as well.
And again, it comes back to the beginning is, are you a thought leader or servant leader? A servant leader listens to understand. A servant leader makes every conversation valuable with the prospect.
Yeah.
Okay. So if someone says that, for example, like, oh, I'm not sure this is the right property, then you ask them why. Oh, because, I'm worried for my children. Say, yeah, children's, you're right. Children's, or is it don't even right? Yeah. Security is important these days, isn't it? So you are helping them helping them understand what are their concerns. Then you can say, would it be right to say, Adrian, when you look at a property, number one is security number one for you? Suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, right? So now you're helping them prioritize their importance. Then they're like, no, it's not number one, but definitely must have security. So they say, oh, in that case, Adrian, then you should really look. Do you mind if I give you a suggestion? Can then you should always look at Sky Property because they have 2-3 layers before they can enter into your place. For a robber, right? They have to think 2 times, 3 times before they rob you. Okay, but landed property, in one guard house, they can enter already, right? So in the way you are helping them understand their needs and then helping them decide which one is important for them. But the point I'm saying, I know I'm just like trying this like idea with you guys over here, but the point is that sometimes people give an objection, they don't even know why they give the objection. But if you can help them understand why they give the objection and help them turn into a point you can take and use in the future, they'll be like, wow, you're a servant leader. So basically, if you are a servant leader, you're always trying to make every conversation valuable for the person, not to make your sale valuable for the person. That is selfish because you want the commission.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Many people come from the angle that I want to close the sales, but they never come from the angle that I want to help the buyer to buy a right property. If you change just little mindset shift, right, you would there are a lot of action that you would do.
So I don't talk about tactics or skill. I wanted to always come back to the heart. Are you a servant leader or thought leader? I say this so many times already, but I think it's a fundamental process in being a great salesperson.
Yeah. Right. And by the way, guys, we have already done 4 mistakes. Are you liking this so far? If you're liking this so far, give us a lot of love. I want to see a lot of love. Okay. And if you are expecting that we're gonna teach you some tactic, we're not gonna share a lot of tactic, but in fact, we're gonna show you the whole strategy on how do you improve your sales process exactly. right? So if you need, you probably need to rewatch this a few times, because there's a lot of, I think I might need to rewatch it myself as well. A lot of point that you have been telling me is actually very good.
Yeah, I just want to say this, that when I first started my business, my network marketing business, first 3 months was horrible because I couldn't make enough money. Okay, in fact, I couldn't even pay for my checkout counter. You know, when I'm checking out IKEA to pay some broken stuff. You know, but I was learning a lot. I was buying books. I was watching YouTube videos on how to use your voice to, to convince someone. On all these skills and tactics. And I realized the moment that changed my life was that I was following. I actually asked the top salesperson in my company to let me follow him. And I drove his Golf GTI around. Okay, I remember on a Saturday, he has 3 appointments. He closed 2 sales. Okay, and I do everything for him. I clean up for him. I'm just like baking lah. Hokkien we say baking or I'm coolie lah. And I noticed something about him. Very servant leader. Very servant leader.
Yes.
Okay. Very servant leader. That's very loud and clear that he's a servant leader. And I think that is the one thing that really changed. Number one, he taught me not to be afraid to ask for the close. He's very, very thick-faced one. So Mr. Adrian, if you get this machine, where you want to put? Like he's very thick-faced one, okay? But more than the tactic and skill, because I could see his tactic and skill, but his heart is very, very nice and thoughtful. Build rapport very quickly. Very quickly build rapport. Walking through the door already, starting to become kawan already. Hey, you got daughter? Hey, your daughter how old? My son is in Hong Kong, studying actuarial science. Wow, yeah lor. Talk about their children now. Oh, see, build rapport. I'm like, all the skills he used, I already read in the book already. I'm already using only. The missing gap is the attitude, the perspective. Yeah.
Right. Now, before we end, let's move on to the last one. And the last one is very important.
Last one is not scaling up your sales or not systemizing your sales. We both had talked before this conversation started. But basically, if you're only depending on sales for your income, it's a mistake number 5. It's good to make money with sales. Okay, it's good to make money with sales. Sales is one of the best paying jobs. We're not creating a system to scale up, not creating a system. And why is this important? You see, sales at best put us in from the employed category to a self-employed category. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But what is a business owner? The business owner has systems, have assets that make them money again and again and again. That's what you want. Why is it important? Number one, okay, it helps you not be desperate. For example, if you have a first system to invest, we're asking, okay, Thomas, what first system should I invest as a salesperson? The first layer is marketing, prospecting. If you can have 20, 30 prospects coming in every week or 10 prospects coming every week by you doing marketing, you're not desperate for the sale. Then you can be a servant leader. Serve them. Because this is not the right person for the property. I don't have to force it for this person, right? Then you can let this person go, next prospect come in. That's why whatever you guys are going to spend with, let's say you guys are doing property marketing. Right now, doing property marketing, type P on the chat right now, okay? And if you're not yet learning from Adrian, I'm going to say whatever sales commission they put aside, invest into learning how to generate leads with Adrian. Okay? So there's your first level of system. Okay, if not, you are now prospecting and then you're doing sales. You're spending so much time doing both. All right. So at least you can spend some money to create a system that makes you so you can scale up your sales. Okay. So that's the first thing. It's about like giving you that momentum, So it keeps you away from desperation. Okay. Desperation is horrible in sales. It's the worst in sales. You may get some sales from friends. Please, I don't know. I need the money, okay? All right. Some of your friends, I just borrow you money. I don't want to buy this property. All right. Thanks, Andy and Fadila. Yep. If you haven't, Jeremy, you're right. Yeah, he knows. Okay. And that's the first thing. The second thing is this: if you really want to have a great lifestyle, isn't that why we all got into sales, entrepreneurship, starting our business? In fact, me and my partner, we're starting to in the future create a series of online trainings free like this. Our hashtag is IDML. I design my life. All right.
Wow.
To design your life, you must control over your income. Okay. So if you don't have a system, okay, you are always dependent on your work for the income. You're not designing your life. You are a slave to your income.
Right.
Okay. So for those of you who are in property, for example, what's the next level after you're good with building your sales, your prospecting? You have to build a team, because the team is your asset, right? You have to scale up. You have to keep looking for the next game, right? So it's a big mistake, because I know a lot of people who do good in sales, they get burnt out as well. Okay, and you cannot take a break, for example, if you don't have a team, right? And you can earn so much more. Okay, you can earn so much more. You can touch more lives. You can help people. More people buy property through a team than just yourself. But the point is that you eventually have to move out from being a sales. Any one of you who become good at sales, you have to move out from being a good salesperson into building a system.
Right. To add on to whatever Thomas said just now, actually having a system for you to scale, right, is to take you out of the desperation mode. Okay. I had a discussion with my team member like a few weeks back, right? They told me that, Adrian, I can't close sales for the past 3 weeks. So I asked him actually why. Because he said he's actually very kanjiong. Okay, he's very kanjiong. Why? Because we are going into MCO already. So before MCO, I want to close some sales. Like, okay. So what position did he put himself in?
Desperation.
Yes, desperate. So that's why like every like conversation that he speak to his client and stuff like this, the client felt it like, why are you so pushy? Like, so the rapport disconnect, like the rapport breaks, right? So which is why like he can't close any sales. But today, imagine this: he already have a system that can give him more appointments. Like, okay, after this one, I'm not asking you to let your appointment go. I'm just asking you that probably you don't have to be desperate to definitely have to make that sales. But think about this, like, okay, you do what you can, and the customer really cannot buy, okay, never mind lah. You know that this product is not suitable for him, let him think. But today, if you really have like enough more like customer coming in like in the next few days, just focus your energy on closing the next one. Sometimes I'll actually suggest my team member to do this instead of just try to push everything in, and then you lose the rapport. I would say that if not, why not let your customer think about it? Because my personal experience in my 2016, 2017, right, when I was doing my sales, when my customer really said want to think about it, I let them think about it, and they really come back to me. because they felt whatever I tell them, whatever that Thomas said earlier, they actually felt it. They felt that I'm actually sincerely helping them to get a property instead of pushing them to make a decision. So sometimes it's actually good to let go. But if you ask me, Adrian, when is the good time to actually let your customer go back and think about it? I'll leave it back to you. You have to feel it, right? There's some customer really cannot push on, but really some customer are those type where they really like cannot make any decision. They're hesitating, but they really should make that decision. Then probably you need to push them a little bit. But it really depends on how you play with that whole relationship lah.
You gotta it takes time to build that kind of gut sense lah. It's like, for example, like you play golf, for example. How do you know is your knee off? Sometimes it's all this small thing. How do you know is the wind? How do you know? Because you hit so many balls already, right? So it comes with experience as well, which is something I want to give everybody also a bonus. Like mistake is not giving yourself permission to fail. The more you do, the more of a sense you get. Okay, this one is really excuse. This one is really not excuse. This one is but you can only develop that deep sense of intuition by practice. You cannot just come and like, wow, I'm so good at guessing, right? It takes time lah. But desperation is bad. Yes, you're right. And I will say this. Remember, people always say like, oh, Thomas, they give me this thing, or let me think about it, right? That is the content you're talking about. But if you change the context already, from the start to the end, they feel that you are their friend, you are in their corner. From the start to the end, you help them pre-frame properly. From the start to the end, you help them decide their top 5 criteria for buying a property. You're in their corner. You even help them calculate what is their credit, more or less can buy what kind of property. You're helping them already, okay? And then you are so close to the point that you can play the children a bit. You can put your hands on his back when he's looking out into the balcony, and you say, "Wow, can you imagine staying here for next 5-10 years? Can you imagine that downstairs don't have this view, but your property have this view, and this and that." You become that close, and then the person says, "Let me think about it." You see, contextually is different already. Contextually is differently. You help them so much already. So when they think about it, they're really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you are just dumping information from the start to the end, and they say, "Let me think about it," it also contextually might be different also. Right. And then, I would say that if you build everything well and you follow up, even though they say, "Let me think about it," and you call them or text them another time, because you have such a great relationship and because there's such a great experience with you, they will likely tell you when they're open to answer your questions. Those of you who use WhatsApp to follow up, you see the double blue tick, and then right? Is that lah? And if you end the conversation with saying like, "Look, Adrian, I just want you to know you don't have to buy this property. The most important thing for me, as I shared my story earlier, I want you to find the right property. Can you imagine like walk away with that? I want you to find the right property because just like my story, I always think the real estate agent make the commission walk away. I have to live with this place for 30 years. I have to service the bank loan. You are going to do that too. So yes, please go and think about it because you are going to stay here. You are going to bear the consequence if you get the reward, but you also have to be responsible of this. Okay, so please go and think about it. And if anything you need to know, whether it's like a competitor property or other places that you think might appreciate, you can let me know. I can bring you there as well, or I can find you the right person to help you take a look.
Right? And now you become the expert because they will be comparing every other thing, but you will ask for your opinion.
Correct. Yeah. And you say that all that, and David versus Goliath, you are expert in this area lah. So if you are expert, then different right? So you get what I mean, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
I can take the hang of it. Yes.
Yeah, but don't allow yourself to fail lah. Please give yourself permission to fail. The best salespeople have a track of like horrible sales. I butchered a lot of sales before. I really I remember my third presentation. My good friend told me after I finished presentation, he's like, "Hey, this is your full-time job." I say, "Yeah, you better go back to your job, and just be okay with failing now. And the only thing you will gain from failing is you gain an experience, Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're in sales, you're gonna get rejected. Your client may say that they really like the property, they book it, their loan may not get through. Things like this happen. Right.
Yeah, or they don't book through, suddenly they buy from your friend or the other agent. This thing happens. Just be okay with it. I can count more than my fingers on my hands and my toes together that people steal my sales before. But either you can say they steal your sales, or you can say there's something to learn.
Yeah. Why didn't the customer choose you?
Yeah.
Over the other guy.
And just learn.
Always something to learn. Right. Okay. So before we end the session today, guys, same thing, same procedure. In the comment section, write one thing that you resonate with you tonight the most. Whether it's the story that Thomas talked about, whether it's the pre-framing way, how you build rapport and stuff like this. One thing in the comment section, give you 30 seconds and write it in the comment section. Right. So just do a very quick recap, okay, on what we learned today while you're typing. So let's do a recap. So first of all, like in sales, a lot of us tend to make this mistake. And if you want to improve your sales in the future, you don't want to kill your sales, try to avoid this. First one, which is, what was the first one again? Being smarter than your prospect. Like you try to outsmart them, you try to keep telling them things and make them feel stupid, right? So people don't like that kind of client, right? People don't like the kind of salesperson. Another one is actually not pre-framing your prospect, like your product. You're not telling story to let them feel like something different. So instead, when you're not pre-framing, actually what happens when you don't pre-frame is that they don't really see the value of your product. Okay, they can't really feel it. Okay, and third one is actually not building a rapport with your client. Right, a lot of people save the action of building rapport till the closing table, but it's already too late. When do you start building rapport? When you start talking to the client. And how do you build that rapport? Find something which is common that you can relate with your client. And sometimes it will be good if you talk about your own story. Then you can let them feel like, I am just like you, right? And then the fourth mistake would be talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, right? As a salesperson, sometimes, yeah, by the way, we only have one mouth, we have 2 ears, right? So should you listen more or should you talk more? That's the question. Okay. And fifth one is not creating a system to scale up. So you are very desperate for sales. So once you're desperate for sales, you tend to make a lot of mistakes. Like you're pushy, you're not giving your customer room to think about. And your client, even let's say today it's a property, if let's say today you really push them to buy a property, right? They probably might cancel next week. And you never know. Right. So not creating a system to scale actually put you in a desperation mode. So to stop yourself being desperate, right? You must have an incoming stream of like prospect, or you have a system in your team where you can not rely on that particular sale just to make money. Then if you're not desperate, you usually can give better advice and your client will feel more comfortable than you. And lastly, be sure to not make this mistake. Okay, a lot of people don't allow themselves to fail. Because since young, when we were educated as a primary school student, secondary school student, when you make mistake, you fail, what happens to your teacher? What happens to parents? Like we were trained, we were put in a box where we cannot fail. But actually in sales, right, you must allow yourself to fail. That's only how you learn, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you learn, guys? So
I just want to add in one more thing because your Hansen was asking, I think your Hansen was asking which book to read, right?
yeah, he did. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I just quickly answer that question if you don't mind. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you want motivation, read 10x Rule by Grant Cardone.
Ayo, mine is outside.
Outside, right? The 10x Rule by Grant Cardone. It's to show you what it takes to actually. It's more than just sales. It's like
Let me go get it.
to perform at the level, because if you take sales and business as like a sports, if you want to be better, you want to break through, what kind of attitude you need to be able to break through. And it doesn't require a certain amount of there you go. Yeah. Okay. I recommend you buy the book. I recommend you even download the audio book and listen to this guy's energy when he speaks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because of this book and his audio book, I listen to this every day. When I was in India, even though I'm rejected, I'm talking about like, I don't call rejection. I'm talking about like I've spent 25 days, and 25 days, I got 3 sessions a day. I get rejected back to back. But I'm still there building the business because I could catch the vision of what Grant Cardone is talking about. Okay. I kid you not, for the first 4 months in India, I blew 150 plus thousand ringgit.
Wow.
Okay. And I have rejections one after the other. Okay. Today we have 2,500 machine sales in India every single month. Right. We have 5.5 million to 6 million sales a month. The kind of grandeur thinking. And I was 24 years old only, my friends. And that's 10x Rule. That's how much powerful it was, right? And I think that's when we met. I was thanking Grant Cardone for his book.
Yes.
The second book that I really recommend for you to read is not so much of like, if you're a beginner, read this book, When Your Buyer Says No by Tom Hopkins. So the book is When Your Buyers Say No. He walks you through the sales process. If you're a beginner, it's very helpful. So you don't feel like, what am I doing with the sales process, right? So it's a very tactical book, but to give you a perspective of what actually is happening in the sales process. So you must walk the customer through this sales process. It's not so useful for leaders and seasoned people, but good for beginners. When buyers say no, okay? That's the second one. The third one, the last one, okay? So 2 more. A third one is more of level 1, level 2. Psychology of human beings. End of the day, if you're salespeople, you are a leader, you have to be practical psychologists. The low level, easy to understand kind of psychology, I really recommend this one. It's called Daring Greatly by Brené Brown, talking about what humans are afraid of. so you can understand why we show up in certain ways, why your prospects show up in certain ways. Okay, very powerful book, even in personal development in that sense.
Mhm.
If you are super deep psychology, you are a freak like me, you want to just dive into psychology and everything to do with consciousness and everything, this is the book. It's called Transcending Levels of Consciousness, Stairway to Enlightenment. And it sounds like, wow, this book is so, the word is so thick. What does it have to do with sales?
Sentence.
Because it's telling you about what consciousness people think from, how they act on, are they from fear? Are they thinking from apathy? Are they thinking from guilt, shame? Because most people operate from there. And how and why people do what they do per se. It's very deep, this book. If you want to read a clinical kind of book, that's a good book to read. But I really recommend it. And I know it's not the common sales book you read, but I can tell you, it really helps you understand human beings and understand why you do what you do and why you say what you say sometimes, how you react, why you react sometimes. And also you understand that actually everyone is trying their best, to give you a space of compassion for everybody, including your prospects.
Which is why like when you mentioned like psychology, right? I think I personally feel also it's very important. I didn't read those books. I read this. It's actually called Thinking Fast and Slow, right? To actually understand how people think is a way to actually close sales, because once you understand that psychology, like how they make decision on the back end, right? Then you can understand how the whole sales process better, right? So the different way of learning things. I think those are the few that okay, I think I didn't catch that. What was it? The great one. The psychology book that you talk about.
Oh, Daring Greatly.
Daring Greatly.
Yeah.
Right. Daring Greatly.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
By Brené Brown. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you guys for putting down like whatever that you learned today. So yes, Jeremy says build a system. Okay. And Emerson, human connection. Yes. Be a servant leader, Richard. Yes. Andy said listen more. Okay. Johansson said framing in pitching is very important and be a servant leader. Michael say building rapport, be a service leader by Fadila. Right. A lot of people heard about the servant leader thing. I think you gotta do another session on that.
Sure, yeah, it's a very powerful thing. Yeah.
Rapport building and not afraid to fail. I know. Yes. Thank you, Eileen, for tuning in. Okay. Context before content. Be a good listener. I think all this is actually a very important skill to learn. So for those of you who really want to, like, you don't want to wait for the next few live session, right? There's actually one video that me and Thomas actually talk about how to become an impactful speaker. And in there, we talk about servant leader as well. So I think I will share that link later on. I'll send it to all of you in my messenger. Okay, I'll send a podcast to all of you, so you guys can rewatch it. I'm not fine. Where is it? Okay, so by the way, if you haven't followed Thomas' page, okay, please be sure to do so. Okay, and he has an Instagram as well. You can go to Instagram and search at Thomas Yap Official, which is the one underneath his name.
Yep.
Okay, if you
want to talk to me, you can talk to me. I'm usually hang out on Instagram. You can PM me over there, so I can talk to you over there. If you want to find out what's my next few lives and my newest announcements, check out my Facebook page. You can like my Facebook page. If you want to find out about cars, and also in the future, I will also do more content that is supporting the concept of IDML. I design my life. How do we have? You have to control your income. You can control your income, you can control your life. So IDML will bring up more content over there as well. So if you like cars, you can join us as well. This Friday, we have Talk Gear. Talk Gear is a show I talk to people who have very interesting opinions. This Friday, I'm talking to somebody who traveled all the way from South America to Alaska in one motorbike. It's 10 o'clock on Friday. If you're going to join us for that, be very, very
tuning. Yeah. Right, and then be sure to subscribe to Thomas' channel as well, because he needs subscriber for his YouTube. Go to YouTube and search Thomas Yap, and I pinned the link in the comment section already, so you guys can just go on and move. And for those of you who just like knew me for the first time, my name is Adrian Xiao. Okay, I lead a team of property agent in IQI Realty, and my specialty is to use systematic internet marketing strategy to help struggling property agent to break through and make six-figure income. So if you want to learn more about like property sales, property marketing, how to sell property online, be sure to like and follow my page. Go to YouTube also as well and search Adrian Xiao and subscribe to me, because YouTube is all my highlight video. Okay, all my live videos sometimes involves a lot of chatting like this, conversation. Maybe it's not content, but if you just want to look at content, just go to YouTube and subscribe to me, and then it's all highlight. Okay, and if you want to get that video that I promised to send you, right, be sure to leave a comment somewhere so I can PM you later on. Right?
Cool.
Great. Okay then, guys, I guess that's it for today. If you really enjoyed the session today, be sure to do one more thing. Send this video to your friend. Okay, send this to your friends, share it to your wall, share it to a few groups, so that through your help, we can help more people. Okay, great. Thank you very much for tuning in. We gotta go. See you in the next video. Bye, Angeline. Bye, Mas. Bye, Jovan. Bye, Michael. Right, Madeline, Fatima, Emerson, Gina,
Magdalene, Emerson, Erica. Thanks again, Erica. You've been watching every session, I think. Thanks.
right, Jaden, Johansson, Anthony Louis. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.